Hello everyone and welcome to our morning worship. It's Sunday and apparently it's Father's Day, although I certainly couldn't forget it was Father's Day with the amount of advertising that I've seen on the internet. So of course I have not forgotten and I've made the decision that both my dad and Eddie would receive the same gifts, although slightly different. So look at this. This is Eddie's Father's Day's present. As you can see, Eddie's matches, and it's personalised. And inside are what are called Daddy's matches, but I think they're just basically long matches. So tonight, when Ed is chilling out in front of the chimney, burning various bits and pieces, burning his Amazon boxes, well, mine, and just burning bits of wood, he'll be doing so with the gift that we've given him. And it wasn't buy two get a discount or even buy two get one for free, but I did buy my dad exactly the same mix matches, and this time it's got a bear on it, a daddy bear on it. So that's what the two men in my life, well, you know, I've got lots of men in my life, but the two main men in my life are going to receive today as gifts. Now, this video needs to come with a little warning. If you've got any young children that are watching this, please shoo them away, send them into another room, because I don't want them to hear the illustration. It's a Christmas illustration, and the last thing I want is to cause upset in the family. So please, young children, depart, go and watch Netflix rather than Joe on the telly or on the computer. Father's Day is an opportunity to think about our Father in heaven, to think about our earthly fathers, yes, but there is no human that is perfect, none whatsoever. But our Father in heaven is a completely different standard. And some people might say, well, they struggle to see God as their father because maybe they've had a really, really bad experience growing up with their father, and in the same way with Mothering Sunday and Mother's Day. And I know historically people have actually stayed away from church on the weekends where they celebrate motherhood or fatherhood for various different reasons. But what we're celebrating is not our earthly mothers and fathers. We might say thank you to them, and one thing we've all got in common is we've all got a mother and we've all got a father, or we've all had a mother and we've all had a father. But actually, we need to still use these wonderful images to relate to our Father in heaven. Jesus said, Abba, Father, and he said that for a reason. So I want to share with you the second part on the chapter of hope that Leslie Weatherhead has written. And this is the bit where it's best if children aren't around, especially children of a certain young age, and you'll understand why when you hear this illustration. So it really, I find it's been really helpful to me today. So Leslie Weatherhead writes this. I heard a moving and true story recently. Tried to picture the scene. It was Christmas Eve in a middle-class house. There was no poverty, no real need. 3 children had gone to bed. They were much too excited to sleep with it being Christmas Eve. They did not believe any longer in Father Christmas. That's the bit, by the way. But they did believe in Daddy. Their mother too had given them reason to hope. Daddy had promised that when he was up in town, he would get the presents which were to fill their stockings. Then, very late, there was a sound of unsteady feet and a rough voice which they hardly recognised. Daddy was drunk, and he'd spent all his money on drink. He'd completely forgotten about his children. And when he got home, it was too late to do anything about it. And he was much too fuddled even to stop here and maybe go to the shops. But even then, they weren't open. And the mother could do nothing. The next morning, 3 little stockings were empty. The children crept together into one bed and wept their disappointment out under the bedclothes. Having dressed, they loyally tried to keep back further tears, tried to behave as though nothing had happened, tried to love the one who had brought such disappointment to their home. They had hoped, they had had reason to hope, but the character of the person concerned, the character which was the basis of their hopes, had broken down. Jesus said it was legitimate to argue from a human father to God where fatherly relationships are concerned. We know that the nature of God is beyond all our dreaming and guessing and thinking. There must be qualities in his being which we haven't the wit to understand. Truly, he does things and allows things which confuse and bewilder us. There are lightnings, there are natural disasters, there are things which are so horrific we can't understand them. We don't know why they happen. I confess I often need to summon all my faith to hold fast to God the Father. Then I come to my senses by remembering that he would not put us in a world which carries so many arguments against him unless he could answer them all. And I cannot believe he will disappoint us at last. We shan't be confounded at last. If you then, said Jesus, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more he gives. God bewilders us more than a good father bewilders his children. They are near enough in equality to him, especially as they grow older, to understand. We can't expect to understand all God does and allows just now. But he would be no God, but worse than a drunken fiend if he let us hope as he encourages us to do so, and made promises, and then finally threw our hope back in our faces and laughed at us for being stupid fools. The character of God, as Jesus revealed him, is the basis of the firm expectation of blessing, which we call hope. We will take our stand with that brave soul who made a list of his adversities and trials. 5 times received I 40 stripes, saved one. Thrice I was beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day have I been in the deep, in journeyings often, in perils of rivers, in perils of robbers. What a list from St. Paul. What a human thing to do, to make a long list. But he who through all his trials carried with him through the darkness the bright lamp of a burning hope, and that is why he wrote the words in Romans. No one who believed in him will ever be disappointed. No one, not one. And it's so true. It's true for us today. We might reflect on the times we've been disappointed in life. We might, and we probably do need to reflect on the many times we've disappointed others. We're not perfect, but we're striving towards holiness. We're part of a holiness movement. That's what the Methodist Church is, a holiness movement. And that means we don't just stay static, we move where the Spirit blows. We have hope even in adversity, hope even in our deepest, darkest times, our hardest trials. And we're not in the business of making trite comparisons, but Jesus said, Abba, Father. And he said that for a reason. Not because God is just like our earthly fathers, as wonderful as some of them are, or not, as the case may be. God, Abba, Father. The fatherhood of God. God is not a God who would leave us just empty-handed after promising so much. We are a movement of people striving towards holiness. And my prayer today is that you think about God as Father. Think about his provision. Think about how he's held you. But think about the promises as well. He is not a father who will disappoint or let you down. And that is why we have the hope that we have. So today, be blessed. Thank the Lord for all that he has done, all he continues to do in your life and in my life and in the life of the circuit and in the life of all our different churches who are all different. And that's good, that's fine. As long as we're all on the same path, and it's a narrow path, a path where we hold the hope and we're a burning light to the people around us. So have a great day, be people of hope, and know how precious you are. God bless and take care, everybody.